at least one offensive touch. None of them will be playing in their rematch tomorrow night. In fact, they're starting center in the game. Ben Garland, he's on IR too. NFL insider Adam Schefter joining us now with much more. Adam, what's the latest on the status of tomorrow night's game between the Packers and 49ers?
Right now it's on, Kevin. The Green Bay Packers are basically en route to San Francisco. I don't think the league would allow Green Bay to leave to head out west if it didn't intend to play that game on Thursday night. The Green Bay Packers, of course, will be without their running backs. You take a look at the list. A.J. Dillon, Jamal Williams, Kamal Martin all added to the reserve COVID-19 list. And the 49ers lose one of the few wide receivers that they had left. Kendrick Bourne tested positive today, and so there will be contact tracing done. The league will continue to monitor the events out in the Bay Area, but all indications and all signs right now point to this game being played Thursday night.
All right, let's stay in the NFC. What more can you tell us about why Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford was put on the reserve COVID list?
He was placed there, Kevin, because it's a high-risk, close-contact situation where Matthew Stafford came into contact with somebody not on the Lions team, but who did have the virus. And so out of an abundance of caution, and wherever we heard that phrase before, the Lions basically have placed Matthew Stafford on the reserve COVID-19 list. I'm told that contact came Monday, which means Stafford would have to test 5 straight days of negative tests before he could be removed from the reserve COVID-19 list. That would put him on track to be eligible to play Sunday's game pending negative testing for Matthew Stafford. If a test turns up positive because he was in contact, that would mean that Chase Daniel would start at quarterback for the Detroit Lions. But right now, the Lions feel like they will have Stafford available against the Vikings on Sunday, assuming those tests for him come back negative.
Okay, we will continue to follow this developing story over the next few days. Adam will be back in a moment, but first, here's Sage.
Yeah, Kevin, there's so much up in the air in Dallas surrounding their starting quarterback situation for Sunday's home game against Pittsburgh. Head coach Mike McCarthy announced it will not be Ben DiNucci, the rookie who struggled in his first career start in last week's loss to the Eagles. Instead, it'll be either Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush, neither of whom has ever started an NFL game either, unlike DiNucci last week. As for Rush, he's in his second stint with the Cowboys, actually, after he was with the Giants this past offseason. Gilbert, a 2014 draft pick, and has been waived or cut by 6 different teams. It should be noted that Big Ben, the opposing quarterback on Sunday, he is unbeaten in his career, 7-0, when his counterpart has made 1 or 0 career starts. Here's head coach Mike McCarthy explaining his thought process.
I just felt that with the opponent that we're playing, we need some more experience at that position. So, obviously Garrett Gilbert's been here for a couple weeks. He's had the chance to play, in preseason games and has been has more experience. And no different with Cooper. Cooper played last year. Is very familiar with the system. Kellen Moore has a lot of confidence, there. So we're gonna let those two guys. We're gonna go through the week and then make a decision.
Garrett Gilbert, Cooper Rush. Adam Schefter, who's their front runner to start Sunday against the Steelers?
Well, Sage, that's what the Cowboys season has come down to. We're talking about whether they're going to start Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush. And the bottom line is, whoever it is, it's going to be the 4th different Cowboys quarterback that they've started over the last month. They lose Dak Prescott to the season-ending injury. They lose Andy Dalton first to a concussion, then to the reserve COVID-19 list. They start Ben DiNucci in Philadelphia last Sunday night and are now down to where they're deciding between Garrett Gilbert and Cooper Rush. My sense is, just a guess today, that Cooper Rush ultimately will win out because he's got more experience, but both quarterbacks will be given a shot to prove their worth, and the winner gets the honor of going up against the great Pittsburgh Steelers defense on Sunday. Some reward that is.
Yeah, really. By the way, that word experience is certainly relative in this case. And to your point, the last 4 games between these two teams have been really, really close, decided by no more than a touchdown each time. We'll see if that trend continues on Sunday. Adam, thank you.
Thank you, Sage.
With Dallas being forced to go to the bench again, did you know they're set to become just the 6th team in the Super Bowl era to start 4 different quarterbacks before playing in their 10th game of the season? That's when you exclude strike-shortened seasons. This is their 4th quarterback in 5 games, actually. Last team to do it, though, that's set to become the first to start 4 in 10 games, was the Niners in 2005. And guess what? Mike McCarthy involved in that as well. He was the offensive coordinator. How about these names? Alex Smith, Tim Rattay, Ken Dorsey, and Cody Pickett. Those were the four. The PTI crew has more now.
All right, Wilbon, should the Cowboys tank the rest of the season?
You said tank, right? I was
Tank. I
waiting
said
for you
tank.
to say stink. It's another
No,
word
tank.
that ends in a K.
They're gonna stink.
They don't. Yeah, but because they're gonna stink, they don't have to tank. All right. I mean, look,
Right.
there's some teams out there that could wind up in position to, of course, to take that quarterback from Clemson. But right now, the Cowboys are 2 wins up on the Jets. All right. So if you look at some of the teams that could be in competition for this when we get to the end of the season, who's going to have only 2 wins or 3 wins? The Texans, Miami owns that pick, and they got Watson anyway, but Miami owns a pick. Jags, they need a quarterback. Giants, I don't know about Danny Dimes. For me, I'm not sold on him. Maybe the Patriots tanking their 2 games against the Jets so they can get to the bottom of the heap. But the Dallas Cowboys don't have to tank. They're going to stink all on their own, and anybody who watches them now play quarterback roulette with people we've never heard of should understand that.
So when I first read this question, I was honestly incredulous because, I don't know where it comes from, the notion that Dallas would tank. Because you tank for one person. You tank for the quarterback that you want most. So if Dallas does that, they are saying, we don't want Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones has spent the last 3 years of my life talking about how much he loves Dak Prescott and how he's sure they're going to get a contract. So that becomes all dross, and they just let Dak Prescott go.
Maybe. I can see him doing that.
I don't get it. Okay, I don't get this personally.
But you can see the Dallas Cowboys, if they're to stink that bad. Couldn't you see them making that move and letting Dak Prescott walk and drafting the new golden boy from Clemson? Of course you can. I can't.
They should be over right now. They should be over.
You're right.
They're no good. They're no good.
That's it. We're done. No more Cowboys talk, please. Back to you.
Wilbon looking clean with the turtleneck. All right, can you be the reigning Super Bowl MVP, a former league MVP, the best player in your sport who is also the highest paid, and still be overlooked in the current MVP race? That seems to be the case for Patrick Mahomes. Call it the Jordan effect. Everyone knew Michael Jordan was the best player year in and year out, yet future Hall of Famers like Charles Barkley and Karl Malone took MVP honors during MJ's reign. And speaking of dominance, I know it's the Jets, but Mahomes this weekend made a 5-touchdown, 400-yard performance look way too easy.
Anytime you're honored in a league like this with those player of the week, I mean, there's a lot of guys that had great weeks this week, and so that's special to me, and it's something that you have to really just you still take that same honor from the beginning to the end of your career, because you know that they don't come all the time, and you have to really go out there and earn it every single week.
He's still not the favorite to win the MVP. Mahomes currently the second best odds to win the most valuable player award, and consider he has a better QBR through 8 games this year than he did when he won the award 2 years ago. Not a surprise. The other 5 players on this list are all quarterbacks when you consider 12 of the previous 13 winners played that position. You see Russ